Welcome to today's Explainer. Picture this. Hidden away among the rugged cliffs near the ancient city of Datong in northern China, there's an absolute breathtaking time capsule of human history. We're talking about a place where an entire mountain was literally transformed into a temple, where solid rock became sacred scripture. Today, we're exploring the Yungang Grottoes. It's a 1,500-year-old stone masterpiece that truly stands as one of humanity's absolute greatest achievements in art and devotion.
Okay, let's dive right into this because the scale is just mind-boggling. 51,000. That's the number of individual Buddhist statues carved directly into the sandstone cliffs of Wuzhou Mountain. We're looking at a spectrum of artistry here, ranging from tiny, intricate carvings just a few centimeters tall, all the way to colossal, towering giants. Honestly, it's an almost incomprehensible volume of human effort and sheer artistic genius, all permanently locked in stone.
So, here's our roadmap for today's Explainer. We'll start with the rise of Northern Wei, then look at carving the sacred mountain. After that, we'll walk through a colossal stone gallery, explore the crossroads of the Silk Road, and finally wrap up with surviving 15 centuries.
All right, jumping into Section 1, Rise of Northern Wei, the 5th century dawn of a masterpiece. Let's use this timeline to really anchor ourselves in history. During the pretty turbulent Northern and Southern dynasties period back in the 5th century AD, a powerful group known as the Shanxi rose up. By 460 AD, they kicked off construction on this monumental project. Barely a few decades later, in 494 AD, their capital moved, which kind of shifted the empire's whole focus. And fast forward all the way to our modern era, 2001 AD marks the year this incredible site finally achieved UNESCO World Heritage status.
So, the crucial point here is understanding exactly who the Xianbei were. Originally, they were nomadic horsemen from the northern steppes. But when they established the Northern Wei Dynasty, with their capital at Datong, they suddenly needed a way to unify a super diverse new empire. They had to legitimize their rule over a settled agrarian society. So they gradually adopted Chinese culture and administration and brilliantly, really brilliantly, used the growing force of Buddhism as a societal glue to hold it all together.
Which brings us to what is, honestly, a massive historical mystery. How exactly did a kingdom of former frontier nomads manage to transform a barren, rocky cliff face into one of the world's most intricate and expansive masterpieces of Buddhist art? It's a leap in engineering and culture that's just almost hard to fathom.
And that leads perfectly into Section 2, Carving the Sacred Mountain, Engineering a Spiritual Wonder.
To wrap our heads around the sheer human will behind this, we've got to start around 460 AD. Emperor Wenchang ordered this massive complex to be built, supervised by a Buddhist monk named Tan Yao. But here's the kicker. This wasn't just a regular building project. It was a dramatic act of royal atonement. See, the Northern Wei had actually persecuted the Buddhist faith previously. So carving these caves was a monumental, permanent apology written right into the stone, meant to honor the religion and really solidify their political unification.
And the monumental task they faced, it's really hard to overstate. Think about it. First, they had to gather monks, sculptors, and artisans from across the entire vast empire. Then, they tackled solid sandstone cliffs using nothing but simple iron chisels and hammers. They literally hollowed out a mountainside. And they weren't just digging holes. They ensured every single design choice embedded deep cosmological beliefs, basically engineering a physical representation of the universe in rock.
Let's take a closer look at the art in Section 3, a colossal stone gallery, a library of spiritual knowledge.
When you step inside these 252 caves and niches, the scale hits you immediately. Within the most famous section, known as the 5 Great Caves of Tan Yao, the largest seated Buddha stands a towering 17 meters tall. To put that into perspective, that is roughly the height of a 5-story building. These gigantic figures are believed to actually represent 5 Northern Wei emperors, radiating this immense power, serenity, and divine authority over literally anyone standing at their feet.
But, it's not just about the giants. If you look closely at the walls, you'll see every single surface is covered. There are serene meditating Buddhas, intricately jeweled bodhisattvas, flying celestial beings dancing through stone clouds. And then there are these fierce guardians protecting highly detailed scenes straight out of Buddhist scriptures. The artisans carved with such astonishing precision that walking through these caves feels exactly like reading a beautifully illustrated 3D book made entirely of rock.
Moving on to Section 4, Crossroads of the Silk Road, Early Globalization Set in Stone.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the secret hidden within the carvings themselves. It's literally a snapshot of early globalization. The artisans definitely didn't stick to just one style. They pulled core Buddhist elements from India's Gandhara region, they carved Greco-Roman facial features inherited from centuries of trade, and they seamlessly blended Persian and Central Asian aesthetics right alongside distinct local Chinese traditions. It is an absolutely stunning visual melting pot.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's that the Yungang Grottoes actively prove globalization is definitely not a modern invention. The Silk Road connected civilizations all across Eurasia, and Yungang became this grand crossroads where thousands of kilometers of ideas, cultures, and artistry met, exchanged, and ended up creating something completely brand new.
Which brings us to our final chapter, Section 5, Surviving 15 Centuries, Enduring the Test of Time.
So, when the Northern Wei rulers eventually moved their capital south to Luoyang in 494 AD, the construction slowed down. But honestly, the true test for these monuments was just beginning. Over the next 1,500 years, these silent Buddhas endured a relentless gauntlet. We're talking devastating wars and invasions, the complete collapse of dynasties, earth-shattering seismic events, relentless environmental weathering, and yes, even in our modern era, the sheer wear and tear of tourism.
It is super important to realize that what we see today is just a tiny fraction of the original visual splendor. Modern archaeologists have actually found traces of pigments, proving that 15 centuries ago, these caves were painted in vibrant reds, blues, greens, and golds. They were illuminated by flickering oil lamps and echoed with the chants of monks. Today, we mostly see bare, weathered sandstone. But just imagine, literally picture in your mind walking into those caves when they were practically glowing with color.
Thankfully, the world hasn't ignored the irreplaceable value of this site. In 2001, UNESCO officially designated the Yungang Grottoes a World Heritage Site. Today, millions of people visit Datong, and there are dedicated conservation experts continuously working behind the scenes. They're doing everything they can to protect these fragile sandstone carvings from pollution and weathering, ensuring that future generations can actually witness this unique record of human history.
You know, the Yungang Grottoes remind us that even mountains can become sacred when shaped by vision, devotion, and imagination. These magnificent caves are so much more than just ancient statues. They're the ultimate testament to what humanity can achieve when we blend artistry with unwavering faith. It really leaves you wondering, what monuments are we building today that will survive the next 1,500 years to tell our story? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.